Title: Judges on Vacation Mode, Supreme Court's Final Countdown, Big Rulings Looming. TLDR. Before the Supreme Court justices swap their robes for Hawaiian shirts, they've got some serious decisions to make. The court's summer break is on the horizon, but not before they rule on major issues ranging from affirmative action, student loans, gay rights to religious rights, and voting laws. Hold on to your gavels, folks, this is going to be a wild ride. Let's unpack this, shall we? Picture this: Supreme Court justices, amid stacks of legal briefs, wrestling with some of the most contentious issues of our time. Kind of gives a new meaning to summer reading, doesn't it? First up, affirmative action. Harvard and the University of North Carolina are at the center of two major cases that could determine the fate of race-conscious admissions in higher education. Will the 6 conservative justices on the court send us back to a time before the court's initial 1978 approval of affirmative action? If they do, could we witness a drop in the number of Black and Latino students at top schools? Next on the docket is the fate of President Joe Biden's plan to wipe away or reduce student loans for millions of Americans. Can you imagine the collective sigh of relief if that plan goes forward? But is it too good to be true, especially after the somewhat skeptical reception at the court's February hearing? Moving along, we've got a real clash of titans with gay rights and religious rights. Here's the scenario: a Christian graphic artist from Colorado wants to start designing wedding websites, but she's not keen on creating sites for same-sex couples. So, should a state law requiring businesses to serve all customers trump her free speech rights? And speaking of religious rights, let's not forget the Christian mail carrier who didn't want to deliver Amazon packages on Sundays. I mean, who wouldn't want a day off from dealing with all those cardboard boxes, right? But the question really is, how far should businesses go to accommodate their employees' religious practices? And finally, the justices are tackling voting regulations, specifically the ability of state legislatures to set rules for congressional and presidential elections. Is the Supreme Court going to throw a curveball at the state court's ability to check these decisions? Well, folks, it's definitely crunch time for the Supreme Court. As they say in TV land, stay tuned for the season finale. But while we're waiting for these decisions, how do you feel about the cases on the docket? And how do you think these rulings will shape America's future? Let's get the conversation started.